I want to buy the $1000 iPhone 17 Pro, but I'm broke. So I'm gonna be phone hunting until I make enough money to buy one. In the last episode I made 220 bucks. So I was shopping on eBay, Vinted and Marketplace again, and I managed to find these three phones. The iPhone 15, iPhone 13 and Samsung Galaxy S10e. Firstly, I will start with the iPhone 13 256GB version that I bought for $260. The body of the phone is in a decent condition apart from some marks. The display is without scratches, but the phone has one flaw and it's the battery. The battery capacity has degraded to 78%, so we will need to replace the battery. Let's get into it. Because the screws are dusty, firstly I will take a tweezer and clean up the dust. After that it's the classic removing of the bottom screws. After that you cook the phone. You place the phone inside the fixture, apply isopropyl alcohol around the edges and then open it using the machine. After the phone is opened, you remove the two metal brackets and you disconnect the display and proximity flex cable. Always when I am replacing a battery on iPhone 14, I remove the bottom speaker. It helps me get better access to the battery adhesives and they don't snap so easily. This time the adhesive on the right snapped, but the left side went pretty well. Since I am not reusing this battery, I will apply some isopropyl alcohol and I will force out the battery with a spudger. Then I clean the remaining adhesive. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, please like, subscribe and leave a comment if you like the series. Once again, I'm gonna be using these aftermarket diagnostic batteries, so the battery shows up as genuine. When installing the battery, I firstly connect it to the motherboard and then I press it down to the housing. This ensures the battery flex cable is routed well and will connect up without any issues. I didn't replace the display adhesive because I unfortunately don't have one in stock, but this adhesive was in decent condition, so it will hold tight. After installing all the screws, the last step is to clean the inside, and then I close it starting from the top to the bottom corner, same for the other side. Install the two screws at the bottom and you are basically finished. All that needs to be done is to calibrate the battery. So how much did we spend? I bought the phone for 260 bucks, the battery was 15 bucks and I sold the phone for 350 bucks. So our total profit for this one is 75 bucks. That's not bad. And here goes the iPhone 15. This one is in a good condition apart from some marks on the frame. Everything on this phone works fine and no work is needed. The battery health on this phone is at 87%, with the first use being in August 2024, indicating that the phone is only a year and a bit old. It was just a good deal and it would be a shame to pass that. Before I sell the phone, I run the diagnostics to see if everything is working fine. To get to the diagnostic menu, you power off the phone, then you hold volume up and volume down buttons and you insert a charging cable. You hold the buttons until Apple logo appears and phone boots into the menu. Everything seems to be green, that means that the phone works completely fine and can be sold. So, how much did I make? I bought the phone for 425 bucks and I will sell it for 475 bucks. That's 50 bucks profit. And the last phone of today's hunt is the Samsung Galaxy S10e. It's quite old now, but it's still a good phone for somebody. I remember that I wanted this phone so bad when it released. I eventually bought one on eBay, but it came snapped in half, so I couldn't really use the phone. You can see this one isn't also in a pristine condition. The rear camera has some dots and smudges, so I definitely need to replace it. So let's get into it. Firstly, I will place it on a hot plate. I actually haven't repaired a Samsung phone in a pretty long time, so we will see how it goes. I mainly focus on repairing iPhones. The opening process is almost same as iPhone. You place it in the fixture, then you apply some isopropyl alcohol around the edges, and then you open it. The adhesive on this phone was already quite weak, so the back glass came off pretty easily. And then it was time to get to the rear camera. The motherboard is protected by some sort of plastic cover, so firstly I needed to unscrew the screws and remove it. The plastic cover at first wasn't budging at all, and then I realized I haven't removed one screw that was covered by the adhesive. That was a pretty rookie mistake. I disconnected the battery, and then I realized that the camera is connected from the back of the motherboard, not the front. So more unscrewing it is. I disconnected the display flex cable, removed the SIM card slot, and removed the 3 screws that hold the motherboard. The process would have been much easier if the camera was connected on front instead of the back, that way I don't have to remove the motherboard. But Samsung designed it this way. Let's be honest, how often do you replace a rear camera? I also removed the headphone jack, then I took a tweezers and I lifted up the corner of the logic board. After that the logic board was pretty easily removed. And I have access to the rear camera. I disconnected the flex cables, but I still couldn't easily remove the camera. Yes, they used a tape to keep the camera in place, so I used some isopropyl alcohol to dissolve the adhesive. With the help of isopropyl alcohol the camera was removed pretty easily. And it was time to install a new one. And then I spent 20 minutes, yes 20 minutes, removing the old adhesive. It's pain in the butt. When I finally removed all the adhesive, it was time for a reassembly. That's the easy part. I connected up all the important flex cables for the display, battery, front camera and so on, and already it was time for the plastic covers. Everything is held in by screws or clips or both. Finally, after I installed all the screws, it was time for a new adhesive. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a hold of the original adhesive, and also it is quite expensive. Instead of the original adhesive, I used a double-sided tape. Although the phone won't be water resistant, it will do the same job just fine. I cleaned the dust and I installed the back cover. This phone took me an hour to repair, and most of it was spent cleaning the adhesive. So how much money can I make on this phone? I bought the phone for 45 bucks. The rear camera was $5 and I sold the phone for 105 bucks. So the total profit was 55 bucks. So how much did I make in total from these 3 phones? The total comes up to 180 bucks. So I am one step closer to buying my dream phone. So far we've made 400 bucks. Thank you so much for watching, see you next week, bye.